We are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? It is your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. You know what it is. It's Philly the podcast. I'm sorry. So much going on this morning. Football's back. I'm loving it. I'm with my boy Rod. I'm with my boy Brandon. Say what's up, y'all.
What's
Football's
going on,
back.
dog? Yes, sir.
So
That
hyped.
that see
So hyped.
they're more happy than me. You know what I'm saying? They're a little bit. I'm a little bit upset right now. We do have a little bit to talk about. So we'll start off with what we obviously just heard. Rookie tackle Jack Driscoll will be starting for Lane Johnson, who is injured and he is inactive. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, bro, I'm a little worried, you know. I mean, we always start our seasons off injury prone, and I'm like today I'm just looking to see that offensive line hold down Carson Wentz, and I don't want to see Carson get touched too many times, and I'm looking to see what that offensive line is going to do for our running back. You know, I think we got Boston Scott starting today,
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm looking to see the protection on that right side as well. So
Oh my God. Today's gonna be interesting for sure. I think there's some stat out there that Carson his game winning stats are not that great when Lane Johnson's out. I think he really relies on having his tackles there. Um, Even with like Brandon Brooks out, like you can get around not having like the best of guards. I mean, it's great to have good offensive line in general, but having those edge rushers off the edge and not knowing if they're going to hit you on your blind side, if you're looking left, right, whatever. When Lane Johnson's not there, it's a scary thought, especially against a team that has young pass rushers. Like they're young, they're hungry, they want to prove themselves. And Washington's defensive line is not something to sleep on. And then they have Kerrigan still, who's a veteran. So you put Kerrigan on a rookie, he's going to know the moves. He's going to know what to do to kind of get this guy flustered. And I forget what game it was. I think it was against Washington a couple of years ago where Kerrigan was eating Wentz alive. So I'm worried about that. I'll keep it at that for now. Yeah.
yeah. Now, what's good by Share? I am not looking. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm not looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen. I wanted to just have an easy week. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a quick little 1-0. You know, get it out the way. But of course, we have to have drama. You know, the Miles Sanders thing it's huge.
yeah,
And
definitely.
obviously losing Lane Johnson is huge, but it's just like we just can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. I just want a quick little break. And it's like, what are we doing wrong as either a coaching staff, training staff? Something has to be going. If this was 1 year, okay, things happen. 2 years, got a little bit of bad luck. But this is like the third, fourth year in a row that we are starting off injured, you know, and hurt. And these guys aren't old. Javon Hargrave is not old, you know.
Right.
Obviously, Miles Sanders is not old. Lane Johnson's 30. It's not that old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So does that kind of change your perception of what's going to happen today? You know what I'm saying? I still think we're going to get a W, but it might just look a little bit different than I thought it would at first.
Right.
But how do you think the game's going to look? Who do you think they can rely on to kind of, you know, get over these injuries?
Deshaun Jackson. I swear, if I see him go into the blue tent or something, I'm tossing my hat up in the air. I'm walking away. Like I'm gonna be so upset. But I think at least the one game we got to see last year was against Washington. Deshaun Jackson looked to be that kind of safety net for Wentz. He was throwing the out routes, quick routes, and then obviously hit him with the big bombs. Um, Division games are always tough. No matter if the opposition is always bad or having a bad season, for some reason it's always close games. So I envision this game being close. I don't see us blowing them out. I mean, it'd be phenomenal if we do. I'd be hyped, but I see it being a close game where we're going to be on the edge of our seats, just like, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now.
I think the game's going to be close, like Brandon said. I think it's going to start off really slow because we're missing a lot of key offensive pieces. You know, we're missing Alshon Jeffrey, we're missing Lane Johnson, we're missing Miles Sanders. So those are key parts of our offense. So I feel like we're going to start off really slow. I think we're going to see Deshaun Jackson make a couple highlight plays. I want to see what Boston Scott's going to do because I think this is one of the very few games that he started So
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
see what he's going to do. And but I really think our defense is what's going to hold us down at the end of the day.
Yeah, we were talking about that kind of off the camera. Let's go, Wiseway. I see you. Yeah, you need to go and work for that training staff. Somebody needs to. You gotta
It's been
get them
Doug
guys
Peterson's
together.
tenure. His tenure
Seriously, get
it
them
has
guys
not been
Yeah.
together.
healthy.
But yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I think it does kind of change the outlook of the game as far as points scored and stuff like that. We're gonna have to take it a little bit slower. It's gonna probably look like last year, like the last game of last year, when we went against Washington. I don't think Dwayne Haskins is going to have nearly the as good of a game. That was like his best professional game. He kind of roasted us in the second game, but I think it'll look like that offensively for us. I think that you're going to see a lot of screens, a lot of short passes. Ertz, like like Wiseway said, we got to be in 12 personnel a lot because we're going to need those extra blockers. But this kind of makes me excited to see because we get to see what this rookie class is really about. I mean, we don't want to, I think it's skipping for me. Yeah, I don't know. I think all these are skipping and beyond, but we'll see. What's good, Philly girl? But either way, I'm excited to see these guys kind of thrown into the fire. Obviously, you don't want that. You don't want them to be, thrown to the wolves.
Right.
But it's what's happened. We're known for kind of getting into bad situations. And at least they've had the whole off season. Jack Driscoll got a lot of reps. Lane Johnson was out for a while.
Right.
So, there's some things that we can at least look at and be positive about. Hopefully Jack Driscoll's the truth. But what do you think that would mean if he is good, if he does play very well? What would that mean for somebody like Andre Dillard?
I mean, it's tough to say. It's tough to say because I mean, Dillard's only had this was going to be his season to like really show out, but then he got hurt. So I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, if Jack Driscoll plays well, then I mean, you got to stick with the people who are playing well at the end of the day. Maybe you can try to get Dillard in a different spot or keep training Dillard to be the next guy up. I don't know. I mean, and it sucks because you want our early draft pick, especially a first round draft pick, to do well. And
especially after this year, I should say that we just basically gave up our whole 2017 draft class. You don't want to start seeing, more ducks, falling. But what do you think, Rob? What would you do?
Honestly, it's a game of opportunities. If somebody's out and you have another guy that can come in and do the job and get the job done, why take him out? You know what I mean? Why take out a good piece when you use him as a replacement? And if he's doing well and he's performing his job and he's doing what he needs to do, I don't see a reason in switching up the lineup. Like people always say, if it's broke, then don't fix it.
Facts. See, someone was talking to me on Instagram, and they were kind of like, I want to say it might have been Wiseway, but either way, he was kind of saying we have to get value out of these guys. So, like, if Dillard is going to be our third, left tackle, if that's what it becomes next year, we have to get value out of him because, like, we gave up Big V for nothing. We got nothing out of Big V. I think we got like a 5th round compensatory, pick, whatever. That's cool, but we have to get something out of these guys. So if Jack Driscoll pans out, either it's him or Dillard. You know what I'm saying? Figure out and get some, picks, something. We have to hit on these younger guys. So like that would be my own thing. So let's give a quick little. What does he say? How do I say goodbye? Driscoll plays right tackle and Dillard plays left tackle. If Driscoll plays good, then it's lit. But I don't know if anything happens to Dillard. I can agree with that, especially with probably JP not being here next year. But I don't know. And also something that kind of came to my mind is like, when do you just say, why don't we try Lane at left tackle? Is that always going to be out of the question? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why that's always out of the question. He's like the highest paid right tackle. You can't go play.
Because he's good at what he does.
He is. Don't get me wrong.
Why move him? And next thing you know, I mean, some people would say it's like trying to write with your left hand if you're a righty or something like that. Switching over. Especially he's been there so long. I mean, a lot of if you looked at like who he goes up against a lot of the premier edge rushers. It's not always just on the left side. So the fact that he's able to hold his own against guys like Von Miller or any of those guys, it says it's good for him. So I mean, I think even like Khalil Mack lines up on that side, like stuff like that. Like those are you can't sleep on it. Like the left tackle is always huge, but you got to also look up who's lining up on the opposite side.
Yeah, I know he goes against D Law a lot, DeMarcus Lawrence.
So a question for you guys is what is your guys' expectations for like Corey Clement today now that Miles Sanders is out? I know we talk about Boston Scott, but Corey did well the year we won the Super Bowl as an undrafted rookie. And then last year he was hurt pretty much all year. I think he played like maybe 4 games. So do you guys have any expectations for him today at least?
I'm looking to see them use him to do a lot of screen passes. I think he has very good hands, and when he was playing the year that we won the Super Bowl, we saw him being put in the game for a lot of those screen pass situations. I think Boston Scott, you're going to see more of a ground and pound just because of his size and his speed and his ability to run through the hole. But I think Corey Clement, you're going to see him maybe run some sweeps and see him on some screen passes and things like that as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see him healthy. Like you said, we saw him in the Super Bowl year. We saw him in the Super Bowl game, kind of be that, hero that we needed, had some great catches. I think that's definitely what he's going to be used for. It's got to be in the pass game, especially with the deficiencies that our offensive line has right now. You have to get him around the, edge, get him on some short passes. He's going to be used how Miles Sanders, honestly, was going to be used. In my opinion, I think Boston Scott will probably be more of our runner in this situation. I'm also kind of, interested to see if we throw in, like, is Huntley active? Do you know if Huntley's active? Because we just got him. Are we really just going to, because other than that, we only have, it's 2 running backs that we have active. So that should be really interesting. I don't know. What do you think about that?
If we go into it's kind of like when we went into one of the games with like only 3 receivers last year, and then Josh McCown had to start getting some warm-ups in because we were about to be
Perkins
down.
Almost got hurt.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully they have a game plan. Hopefully they're not just going in with 2 running backs, and if they are, using them wisely and not trying to overdo it. But then again, we want to be able to run the ball. That's the key. That's most of the times when we win games is when we run the ball well. I mean, any NFL team, I guess, can say that, but it really helps Carson when he's not throwing 50 times a game.
I definitely agree with that. I think we should go with that 3rd running back just because if we're going to be running the ball, I feel like we're going to be running the ball a lot more than usual just because we don't have Alshon, which is one of our premier weapons. We still have Ertz, we still have Goddard, and we still have Deshaun Jackson, but we can't rely on the passing game the whole entire game. But at the same time, we can't run Boston Scott and Corey Clement to the ground as well if we have that 3rd option.
That's very true. That's very true. So my boy said, I think the Redskins are forgetting our D-line has been top 3 in the NFL since 2015. And Malik Jackson, which I'm very excited to see him come back, the dude we paid a lot of money for, is playing next to Cox, who is fully healthy now.
Facts.
Very true. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the D-line to really show out. I mean, I know Derek Barnett, I don't think he's playing either today. He didn't make the trip along with Miles Sanders. So this is Josh Sweat's time to really show that he is as good as he was in college and that maybe we got a steal in the draft for him.
I'm with Brandon. I'm also looking forward to seeing that D line, man. I mean, the D line is really a very big part of our defense, and it always has been. We've always had those guys to kind of put pressure on that offensive line and to get guys off of that game. The secondary is what we really had the issue with, which now is a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that defensive line is going to put pressure onto the offense to see how our secondary is going to perform as well.
Yeah, our secondary should be interesting. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I want to see if Davion Taylor gets some play. I have a feeling this is going to be treated like a preseason game by us.
Hopefully not, because this is division.
I really do, for some reason, especially with the people that they're very cautious with Miles Sanders because he was practicing, he was fine, then boom, he's done. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek Barnett, I don't really know how. I think he's been on and off the report, but still, it's just it seems weird, and everybody keeps saying we're going to be cautious, and every team is doing that. I know Tampa Buccaneers they're talking about not even starting Mike Evans. So it's every team is being extra cautious. So how do you think, obviously we don't want that to happen, but do you think, or do you feel that it's kind of becoming a preseason week this week?
I feel like in a way it has been, but at the same time, I feel like due to the conditions and the things that we've been having going on with the COVID and all that kind of stuff, these guys haven't had as much time to practice and be in training camp as they're normally accustomed to. So I feel like more of that is more the reason why they're being cautious, because these guys didn't get the opportunity to have that conditioning like they usually would have during the summertime. And we've already seen injuries, and we're just having our first game. So I feel like that's just more of an example of why, the guys who are injured, we need to be more cautious with them because we're going to need them later in the season.
Facts.
I mean, the unfortunate part is that some teams, like let's say the Cowboys, they're playing the Rams. So if you don't win that game, it's not the end of the world. But for us, the fact that we're playing the Redskins and it could come down to one game divisional win at the end of the season, where whoever has the most divisional wins takes the division. So it's kind of tough to be able to like treat this one as like a preseason game, knowing that this may come down to a Eagles Cowboys similar record, who has the more divisional wins and who needs to keep winning games in order to win the division. It's tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So with all that said, I was trying not to keep it, all about the Eagles. So we're gonna wrap Eagles up and we're gonna go over the NFL schedule all together real quick because I have it in front of me. But I do want to ask one last question for the Eagles, and it's tied. It's 11:15 for me Eastern. The game starts at 12. I want to keep it tied to kind of fantasy football. Are there any players on the Eagles or Redskins whose stock rise because of the injuries, or maybe obviously it's obvious whose stock plummeted when they get injured, but who maybe are risers on your fantasy board right now because of the injuries?
For me personally, I've started. I'm going to start Deshaun Jackson today because I know Rager's playing, but I still don't think they're going to like try to throw him the ball too many times because of his shoulder. So I think Deshaun Jackson's stock is up at least for this week. And on the Redskins, you can say guys like Antonio Gibson. I know that they're going to be a running back by committee, but the fact that they let AP go and Geis is gone, it's only one of them is going to end up being their best running back. So I think either like Gibson, I don't even know. I think McKissick's another running back for them. Who knows? But one of them is going to come out. So I would go with one of those guys.
Okay.
For me personally, I think Boston Scott stock's going to rise just because he's going to get more playing time. He's going to get more touches than we're normally accustomed to seeing him have. So I feel like his stock is going to rise naturally. I hate to say this, I think Washington's defense stock is actually going to rise due to our injuries on offense. And, I think like Brandon always says, don't underestimate Washington's defense. They have really young guys, and I feel like this is just a bad time for us to play against their defense in particular because we're missing some key pieces. But I'm really hoping to see Boston Scott, do some things and show some flashes of greatness and things like that. I mean, we've had him sitting on the back burner for a while. He's came in clutch forces some key games, but I feel like I want to see what he does as a starter.
All right. And before we move on from the Eagles, because I know we're about to get into other teams, do y'all think, and this could be a quick yes or no answer, do y'all think that Jalen Hurts will enter the game at all?
He's inactive.
I think he's inactive.
He's inactive?
Yeah, I think that was a last-minute thing, too.
Watch out, the hat's going flying. The hat's going flying.
Oh, my God. I thought they would at least put him in like some kind of wildcat situation for at least some fun. What the heck is
so
going on?
Wiseway said John Hightower for the Eagles, Chase Young for the Washington Footballers. I don't know how fantasy works. I feel you. It's all good. I barely know how it works, too. I've been playing it for years. So I have to agree with Rob, man. Like, that defense, they're probably going to get a couple sacks now, maybe a couple extra than they would have regularly if Lane was in there. It's going to be interesting. I definitely think their defensive stock rises. I definitely think that my boy Scary Terry, we have Darius Slay and he might shadow him, but I just think he's going to go off. Our defense, until we stop some wide receivers, my whole thing is they can't stop wide receivers. So until they prove me wrong, I'm going to have to go with them. So let's get a quick little score prediction for that game. I'm going to go, I said 33-13 at first, but, with newfound evidence and new, things to go by, I'm going to probably say like a 24. I'm going to still say 24-13. So not too far off. But what do y'all think?
I'll go 21-14.
I'm thinking 24-17.
Okay, so we're all around the same area. I don't feel so bad now. All right, so that's the Eagles versus the Skins. Another good game that's coming up. I think a lot of people are ready to see this one. Is the Patriots versus the Dolphins. Now, I've seen a lot of people going either way on this one. I've seen people picking the Dolphins. I've seen people picking the Patriots. I'm excited to see Cam. I'm very excited to see that young offense for the Dolphins. What are you guys' thoughts of that? For that game?
Well, I'm pretty sure, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I think Fitzgerald's starting today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw today that Devontae Parker he's going to play, but another person with some hamstring issues. So if I mean Patriots defense is still good. I mean they have I think 6 starters out because of COVID. So I mean maybe they're not won't be as good, but um, I think that the Patriots are going to win that game. I see Cam doing. I see him doing well enough for a starter. I don't think he's going to come out swinging and having crazy stats, but well enough to get him like, okay, we're starting to see Cam. I think he'll run the ball a little bit. I really don't know what Patriots do at running back, but they always confuse me. I really
I don't
know
think
what's
they
up
know
with
what
Sony
they
Michel.
do.
But until the Dolphins can prove otherwise, it's hard to really bet on the Dolphins. Like until they start showing that they can win games, because otherwise, it's just they still kind of feel the same way to me. But then again, I haven't really paid attention.
No, I feel you.
I think it's going to be a battle of the quarterbacks, man. I want to see Cam do really well. I like Cam in Carolina. I like his play style. I want to see how he does in that Patriots offense with Bill Belichick. And I think Tua is going to do good as well. Do I think the Dolphins are going to win? No, but I think it's going to be a close game. I really want to see what both of the defenses are going to do. I don't know too much about either one of the. I know the Patriots got Stephon Gilmore, so we know his type of game and his pedigree. So I'm looking to see how Miami's offense is going to play with Tua as a new starting quarterback, and I'm also looking to see Cam Newton go out. I honestly think Cam's going to show out, man. I think he has a lot to prove. I feel like he's been just waiting for the opportunity to go out and prove everybody wrong. So I'm looking for Cam to go and show out. I mean, whether he does or not, I mean, he might not, but I think he's going to definitely have a great game.
Cam's talked a lot of junk in the offseason, like low key. Like, I don't know if y'all been seeing him, like, at practice, he was playing with the ball. And so, what is this, Tom Brady? Because
Yeah.
like, he's been saying a lot of stuff. So, he's got to go out there, show and prove. Fitzpatrick always does crazy stuff against the teams you don't expect him to play well against.
Right.
Us. Anyways, but sorry, I had to say it. But this one, yeah, I'm definitely looking for, Cam to kind of show out. I want to see him and Julian Edelman play together. I think that Julian Edelman is the perfect type of wide receiver for Cam, to be honest. He's like, quick, little shifty, quick throws, quick little slants, in and outs, nothing crazy. He doesn't have to, launch it down the field or throw 50-50 balls up there. So that should be fun. That should definitely be fun. So what do you think? Like, so you guys said, I got Brandon saying the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who do you got?
I think I'm going with the Patriots.
Patriots. Any fantasy players that you're looking at on these teams or that you're starting?
I don't have anybody on neither team.
Actually, I lied. I was because Sanders was out. I had Sanders like in pretty much all my leagues, so I had to go in and do quick edits. So trying to figure out who I'm going to start. I'm looking at the waiver wire. There's like barely anybody. So I ended up picking up Rex Burkhead because I feel like sometimes he's a goal line vulture and he ends up getting some touchdowns. I'm hoping that he gets at least one touchdown today. Give me some kind of points because it's better than like 0 to 2. So hopefully he can just get me something. I just need something.
Hey, I'm gonna keep record of all this. So obviously it's video. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I'm gonna go with shocking. I'm gonna say that the Dolphins are gonna. That's my guess. So we'll move on to the next game real quick. We got Vikings versus Packers. Well, Vikings versus Packers. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, to be honest. That's my personal opinion. But, yeah, you got Aaron Jones. You got how do y'all make this live work? That's a whole conversation, Jack. I'll tell you later, man. Subscribe, and I'll let you know, bro. I got you. But either way, I'm looking for Aaron Rodgers to kind of show out. This is probably like one of his last, 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. But it should be fun. Maybe Kirk Cousins goes off a little bit. Who are you guys looking out for this? I'm sure you guys got somebody from this team in fantasy. I was about to say.
I got Devontae Parker and Adam Thielen, so I'm looking at both squads. But it's going to be curious, like you said. for the Vikings to see how Thielen does without Diggs on the opposite side. So I mean, and then for the Green Bay Packers, is like I feel like Aaron Rodgers has to prove that he still can play this game and that he's still one of the top tier quarterbacks, considering that the Packers decided to draft a quarterback in the first round rather than get someone that can help Rodgers succeed, like get him another wide receiver or maybe a running back or anything like that. So,
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna kind of be in for a rude awakening with that Minnesota defense. Minnesota's defense is really stacked. They got a lot of depth on both sides on both sides of the ball as far as right and left side. And I really think their defense. I got Harrison Smith as a safety on one of my leagues, and I got Minnesota's defense playing on one of my leagues. So I just really think their defense is going to put up a lot of points. I think Aaron Rodgers will still go out and perform, but I think he's going to throw a couple interceptions and maybe a fumble. I'm going to go with a throw something out there. I think he might have a fumble or two as well. I think that
My man
Minnesota
making bold
defense
predictions.
yeah, bro. I think that Minnesota defense is really something to reckon with.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I mean, so you're saying Minnesota,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
and you got Brandon. You got Green Bay. You said Brandon. Hello. All right. Well, I'm going to say Brandon said Green Bay. But
oh, I'm sorry, maybe I'm breaking up.
Did you say Green Bay or Vikings?
What was that?
Did you say Green Bay or Vikings?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
Okay, so yeah. So we got Green Bay, we got Vikings. So yeah, Yannick went to the Vikings, right? He went to the Vikings. So yeah, that's gonna be scary. I'm gonna probably have to go with the Vikings too, just because I know I got a friend that's a Vikings fan. So if he watches this, that one was for you. So, but it should be very interesting to see what Unique brings to that defense. It should be very fun. Now, next we have. I don't even know if I want. I think this will be like a one-word answer for all of us. But we have the Colts versus the Jaguars.
Colts.
I think Brandon's face told the whole story on that game. You want to give a quick prediction about that, and we'll move on from that. I don't think I have one player from either of those teams. I got Gardner.
Yeah, I got T.Y. Hilton.
Okay, I got T.Y. too. I forgot about his own ass.
I think, it's going to be cool. The best part about that game is seeing how Phillip Rivers does in a new team. It's going to be interesting because no one's seen him outside of a Chargers jersey. So, I mean, unless you saw him drafted by the Giants. So that means maybe that's the only time he held up a Giants jersey for 10 minutes. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how he plays, to see if he still kind of looks like he has a noodle arm or if he was able to rest up over the offseason and everything like that. But that's the only interesting thing about that matchup. The Jaguars, unfortunately, I know people are Gardner Minshew fans and hoping he does well. And DJ Chark is dope. But, I mean, outside of that, what's really going on down there in Jacksonville?
A whole lot of Shaka Khan messing stuff up, man. Duval. What you think, Rod?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't have anybody on my fantasy. So, I mean, honestly, I just kind of hope to see a good game as far as that. I don't really have anything personally as far as that game goes. I mean, yeah, I got T.Y. I mean, I forgot I got T.Y. Hilton. So of course I'm looking to see Phillip Rivers, go out there and do what he's been doing for the past 17 years. Hopefully, like Brandon said, he doesn't have the noodle arm, but I mean, hopefully he rests up and he goes out there and he performs. But I don't see anything different from Phillip Rivers as far as the way he plays. I think the Colts that's going to be an easy walk in the park for the Colts. The Jaguars don't really have nothing going on at this point. They traded away all their assets. So, I mean, I think this is pretty much going to be a walk in the park for the Colts.
Yeah. See, Wise Sway says he got the Jaguars because of Josh Allen. So there you go. That's a hot take right there. I like that. I'm gonna have to go with the Colts too, man. I'd like to see what they're gonna do with their running back core as well, because I know they got that rookie and then they got Marlon Mack. They've said Marlon Mack was gonna be the guy, but it's always interesting to see how it actually plays out. A lot of people say things, but once the game actually starts, we'll see who has the hot hand. Now, this game, I think a lot of people don't really care about this game, but I'm really just more interested in this game because of the quarterback situation. So, Bears versus the Lions. I believe Mitchell Trubisky is still the starting quarterback, as you know what they said,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to see how long that's going to last. I'm going to
Right.
say maybe like a quarter. But what do you guys think about that game?
So I don't know what I really think about the game too much, but I guess what are you guys' thoughts on Nick Foles? I mean, there's like a section of Eagle fans. They're like, we should still have Nick Foles on the team, but he hasn't been able to beat out guys like Mitch Trubisky and Gardner Minshew for a job. And he didn't even get to stay in Jacksonville. They traded him. So I mean, do you guys like feel bad for him in a sense, or like it's just like, well, there it is. There's the proof saying that he was good for us. Don't get me wrong. He won the Super Bowl, but we might be better off with Carson.
Shit, I feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he won us a Super Bowl and he kind of getting treated, he kind of getting hoed around, but it is what it is. Like he was a system, and I hate to say this because it sounds like I'm saying he sucked or something, but he fit our system. He did what he was supposed to do. He balled out in the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. I'll never take that away from him. But the other games, he didn't win those games. At least not on his own. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the Vikings game got turned around because our defense got an interception and brought it back. Then the whole game changed. The game against the Falcons, that was really about the defense too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, obviously, like I said, he balled out in the Super Bowl, but I think, it's getting shown that this is who he was. You know what I'm saying? He was great for the Eagles and he did great things for our city, but I don't think he has much of a career outside of Philly, but that's just my opinion.
I agree with you, bro. I mean, I feel like I said earlier, I think we're in a game. We're talking about a game where it's about opportunities, and Nick Foles had his opportunity, and he came in and he perfected and he performed the way he was supposed to. He got that big contract with the Jaguars, and then he got hurt. He lost his opportunity. Gardner Minshew came in and he did what he did, and he got the starting job. And now, Nick Foles in Chicago. But I mean, I feel like as far as whether he can beat out Mitch Trubisky, I feel like that's just like a 50-50. I feel like Mitch Trubisky is just as good as Nick Foles. I don't think he's any better of a quarterback. I just think that he's already been in that system for so long that they're going to stick with him because he's a younger guy.
All right.
So I feel like, Nick Foles, I feel kind of bad for him, but I mean, like I said, it's a game of opportunities. You either hit or miss. I mean, Nick Foles hit when his opportunity came. He got his check. And I mean, that's all I can really say about it.
And I think he will take the job from Trubisky at some point. I don't think, I think they're trying. I think this is kind of their last ditch effort at saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's got to work out.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. I think at some point he's going to lose that job. So with that being said, what do you think about the game as far as like who's going to win?
I think Detroit's going to win, man. I mean, I know Detroit doesn't have much of anything either, but you know what I mean? I feel like as far as them passing the ball, I mean, they're okay, but I feel like they're going to be relying more on their running game. I feel like their defense is kind of, they got rid of Slade. They traded Slade to us, so I feel like that hurt them a little bit, but Chicago's defense isn't really known much for anything either. So, I mean, I feel like you're going to see Detroit run the ball a lot. You're going to see Adrian Peterson and DeAndre Swift both share touches on the football. And I think you're going to see Matt Stafford throw the ball a little bit, but I don't think you'll see him throwing the ball too much.
I think the Lions are going to win as well. Nothing against the Bears. The Bears are good. I mean, unless the Bears defense steps up heavy, I think the Lions do have a really good chance of winning, and I think they're home too. So I believe they play typically well at home, and they drafted that rookie corner. I forget his name in order to replace Slay. So I see them doing well. People sleep on the Lions because they really haven't done too much. And last year, Stafford was hurt all year, but they typically do about average. So I don't see why they couldn't steal a home game and against the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bears are going to win. If I'm being honest, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that you guys think the Lions are going to win. Yeah, I think the Lions, they could win. They definitely have a good offense, and like you said, Matt Stafford, hopefully he's back at 100%. But I don't know. I think you guys are sleeping on the Bears' defense a little bit. Like, that defense is no joke. You got that big boy Akeem in the middle. I think his name is Akeem something. You got Eddie Jackson. You got some good cornerbacks, good secondary. Obviously, you got a great defense. I mean, great linebackers. But so I'm gonna have to go with the Bears. That's me personally. But I'm also trying to get like a record of all our picks. So I'm trying to like separate myself from the pack a little bit. So I got to take a one-offs every now and then. So this one should be interesting as well. This is going to be the Raiders versus the Carolina Panthers. So obviously we were just talking about Cam in New England, no Cam in Carolina. You got Christian McCaffrey, probably the best fantasy running back in the league. And then you have a whole lot of speed on the Raiders. They got Henry Ruggs. I'm very interested to see him working with Josh Jacobs, working with Derek Carr. I don't know why I forgot his name for a second, but Derek Carr. So what are you guys looking forward to that game? Who do you guys got winning that one?
Man, for me, it's a toss up because I got Christian McCaffrey, I got Henry Ruggs, and I got who else do I have from the Raiders? Oh, and I got Teddy Bridgewater. So I have all three of those guys. So for me personally, I'm just looking to see a good game. I'm looking to see a lot of, I don't think either defense is going to do too much, which is good. You know what I mean? I want to see both teams score a lot of points on the offensive side of the ball. So for me, I'm going to go with Carolina because I think they're really going to, go off of Christian McCaffrey's back. I think they're going to piggyback off of him a lot, which is what they've been doing since he's came into the league. I mean, he's a premier top 3 running back, definitely, which is why I drafted him at number 1. But, I just feel like he's going to get a lot of touches receiving the ball. He's going to get a lot of touches running the ball. But I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how Derek Carr's going to do with his new weapons as well.
Yeah, just to be different, I think I'll go with the Raiders on this one. I'm trying to get the points now that I know this system. But for real, I think the Raiders started to kind of show that they can be a contender at the end of the year last year. They started winning some games. I mean, and by contender, I mean someone that can like compete in games, not saying that they're contending to be like high in the playoffs or something, but now they have more speed on offense. Derek Carr, he hasn't really looked the same since he got injured that one year when they were really good. But now that he's been a couple years removed, he's been under Gruden longer, so he knows his system more, how they want to run things. Waller's a good tight end for Derek Carr. Derek Carr has a great connection with him. Josh Jacobs is nothing to sleep on. But like you guys said, the defense, I feel like which defense is going to prevail more. Maybe I would go the only reason why I'm also going with the Raiders is because of the Panthers having the new quarterback, having the new head coach. So there's a lot of different things going on there in with the Panthers that the only consistency is just like Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. But I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one.
All right. So we got Raiders and we got the Panthers. So I'm going to go with the Raiders too, just because I want to see Henry Ruggs do good. But either way, we're going to add my homegirl real quick, Sierra. She is a Redskins fan.
Hello.
And she does Excuse My Behavior podcast. So if you guys are on YouTube, definitely go check her out. What's good, Sierra? How you doing?
Good. Nothing much. Nervous about this game.
You nervous. You talking to 3 Eagles fans crying about an injury report right now. You nervous. So what are you thinking about the game? What are you looking for out of your team?
I'm looking for our defense to step up. I'm looking for Dwayne Haskins to not throw any interceptions. Not one interception. I'm looking for Chase Young to get sacks. I'm looking for Montez Sweat to get sacks. I don't know. I'm just looking for a completely different team since we got a completely different staff. Most of the players are new and young. I don't want to see what I saw last year. So. And I hope we beat y'all, man. We ain't beat y'all in like 3 years. Goodness gracious. But,
so we had actually a good conversation earlier about Wentz. So I kind of want to bring that up here. We're not going to attack you. I promise. We are all like very civil people. But we were talking about if Wentz is a top 5 quarterback. And I said right now behind, and I know they're probably going to disagree with me, so trust. I said right now, behind Mahomes and Russell Westbrook, I would take Wentz. He would be my 3rd best quarterback in the league right now. So I just kind of want to get your guys' opinions on that. And then, Sierra, you could kind of explain your side on it if you'd like.
That's pretty bold. If I'm going to be realistic, I think Wentz is a top 10 quarterback, but top 10 like in the later half of the 10.
Mm.
Like looking at the 8, 9, 10. As of right now, I feel like there's other quarterbacks. If you have to go down the line, Mahomes, Wilson, Breeze. You cannot not say Brady. Lamar Jackson.
See, but I feel like that's more off of clout than it is right now.
You might
Like,
be right.
I'm not taking
It could
Brady
be,
or
but
Breeze right now.
yeah,
Maybe
but
Lamar.
maybe if you're not building a franchise, but if you're going based off like I don't know. I don't know. I can't put once ahead of them right yeah.
Right, right.
Unless they start looking like Peyton Manning did at the end of his career, then you can't really put once ahead of them. I mean, Michael Thomas has those numbers for a reason. It's not like he has Taysom Hill throwing him the ball or something.
No, facts.
I mean, I say Carson Wentz is like a 5 or a 6. I mean, of course, you got Mahomes, you got Wilson, you got Breeze, you got Brady, and I feel like after Brady is where you got Carson Wentz. You got him right in that 5 or 6. I mean, I feel like there's a couple quarterbacks that could potentially have a better season than Carson Wentz, but at the same time, I feel like, and I always say this, with the things that he's done off of his injuries, the way that he's been able to lead the team and his leadership, I feel like that is what can make him a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
See, look at this. It turned into me being all wrong. I was trying to get them on you. And now, you know what I'm saying? But no, I just can't put them above. But explain your side, let me know what you think.
He's not a top 5 quarterback. I'd say maybe top 10 because he had one good year. He got hurt last year. He played all the games, but y'all really didn't have any weapons, so we couldn't really see the full potential of him. So I just can't say he's a top 5 quarterback, but based on what we've seen already, because he's been in the league for what, 4 years now, we already know what to expect from him. And I don't say that even talent wise, like the dude was saying, he's not top 5. Top 10 maybe, but I can name so many other quarterbacks that is better than him right now. So
Well, I won't make you do that, but
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
It is what it is.
Really?
I got attacked on my own show. It is what it is. Now, so another question I want to ask you, because it's cool to get like outside of our fan base's opinions, and I know this is kind of gonna happen with every fan base. So with everything that happened on the Thursday night game, with them, the Texans deciding to stay in the locker room, Kansas City deciding to do what they did during the national anthem. What are your thoughts, and like how do you feel whatever your team decides to do?
Really, to be honest, y'all don't even care. I feel like they can, for real, they follow what they follow. Who am I to criticize that, So whether they kneel, whether they stand, long as they're not like being racist about it or disrespecting the Black community, I don't care.
Right.
Facts. I respect that. How about y'all? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I know we briefly talked about this on Friday when we were discussing the Thursday night game. But like she said, I mean, at the end of the day, they're grown men. They can choose what they want to do. We can't crucify people for having a different opinion, right, unless their morals are just completely out there and they're actual like racist people. Then then we can judge them based on that. But if they understand, like, listen, I'm with you, I get it. But I still gonna stand or whatnot, then it is what it is. That's their decisions. Right. We can't go ahead and crucify everyone that's not 1,000% on your side, as long as they're getting the bigger picture.
Yeah, facts.
I totally agree. I feel like, as long as everybody is on the same page and everybody is, consistent in what they're doing, it doesn't matter what they do. I feel like when you lose consistency is like part of like the NBA, for example, how they decided to boycott one game and then the next game they're back playing like everything is normal, like nothing ever happened. I feel like that's when exactly, that's what I thought. I feel like that's where you kind of misperceive the message. If you're going to stand for something, you got to stand for 100% no matter what. I mean, you got to think these people are making 10, 20 times more than what we're making, the average people. So, we're not going to just get up and say, oh, well, I'm not going to work today. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Like
So, and they have all the money that they need to be able to live their lifestyle. So you can afford to not play a game or two or three to stand up for the greater things that's going on in our country. Not the greater things necessarily, but the things that are going on that need more attention.
Facts, yeah. With me, and we were talking about this off camera as well. I'm being selfish because I'm a football fan. With basketball, I like basketball, don't get me wrong, but the Nets suck. So I was like, yeah, cancel every game. You know what I'm saying? Fight for your rights. But my thing with, I just want to see some football. So with that side, I am a little bit selfish. But like you said, I can't knock them for wanting to do anything. You know what I'm saying? As long, like you said, it goes with the bigger picture and it's not just for show. Because I do feel like the NBA thing was a little bit just for show. But we're going to get back to football a little bit. I just kind of wanted to ask those questions. We're going to include you, Sierra. We ended on Panthers versus Raiders. So next we have the Jets versus the Bills. That should be a stinker. That should be like probably worse than the Colts versus the Jags game. But what are you guys thinking? I'm kind of excited to see that Bills defense. A lot of people are putting them on a pedestal. So what are you guys thinking?
I mean, my bold prediction, I think the Bills will win the East, the AFC East this year. With the addition of Stephon Diggs, that's going to be nice for them. They need that like extra speed, that veteran receiver. Because I feel like with I think his name is John Brown and Beasley, you can't like they were able to make the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but to add Diggs with their running game, I think it's going to be well. And then their defense is solid. They're pretty stout, so I see the Bills winning this game. The Jets, I'm not really concerned about.
I think this game is going to be the Bills versus Le'Veon Bell. And that's if Le'Veon Bell is even, if he comes out and has a decent game. I think the Bills have a great defense. They're young. They got Stephon Diggs, and the Jets don't even have a defense. They traded the one corner piece that they had away to the Seahawks. So I'm looking to see Stephon Diggs have a huge game against their secondary.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna go with y'all. I'm going with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Only person. For real. Like when I think of the Jets, I just think of Sam Donald. He was on the mic. They do the little mic thing, and he was goofing off. He was a clown. He said I'm seeing ghosts or something like that. I just can't take him serious. And then I just wish Le'Veon Bell wasn't on that team because he's such a great running back. I feel like he's fading away on the Jets. I'm going with Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I think that's going to be a stinker. I think losing Robbie Anderson just makes a terrible offense even worse. So I definitely got to go with the Bills on that one. I don't even want to try and get extra points on that one. So next we got this one too. We got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Who wants to take this one first?
Fantasy-wise, I'm looking for Odell Beckham to do something. His last couple seasons, he's been kind of falling off a little bit. I'm looking to see him have a bounce-back season. I got him on my fantasy team. I don't think the Browns are going to win. I think that's pretty obvious that they're not going to win. But, for fantasy reasons, I want to see Odell Beckham do good. But we all know, I'm going with the Ravens. We know Lamar Jackson, you got Mark Ingram, you got Hollywood Brown. The list can go on. The defense is top-notch. What Cleveland really doesn't have a chance. They got Kareem Hunt as well. But, other than that, there's really nothing they can do. Their defense is okay, but the Baltimore Ravens, I feel like their offense is just so high speed that they're going to gas the defense out.
Right. Yeah. You got to hope that the Browns can put something on paper that's as good as the names on paper. So they have a lot of starters. Like for instance, you got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt for running backs. Those could both be starters on any team. Jarvis Landry and OBJ can be number one receivers on pretty much any team. So the fact you know what? Who's home this game? Is it Baltimore or the Browns?
Ravens.
They're Baltimore, yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna have to go Ravens because they're home. I want to take a bold pick and take the Browns if they were home, but with the Ravens being home, I don't really see them losing their opener to the Browns. But I'm hoping for a good game, maybe a semi-high scoring. See OBJ maybe break out. I don't
know. So I think the last 3 times they met, Browns won one game. So and I'm hoping they win another. I just think that the hype the Ravens is so hyped up. Like they're gonna think that, you know how teams go in and think just you want to just blow out. I don't
Yeah,
think it's going to be that case. I think the Browns. I'm going with the Browns.
I respect it.
I'm personally gonna go with the Browns too.
I'm
Honestly,
going with the Browns.
I think that the Ravens are good, whatever, but I think it's gonna take time for them to get together. I think Lamar Jackson still has something to prove. He had a good year, a great year last year. He was the MVP, obviously, but
MVP.
but he has a lot to prove still in my eyes as far as leading the team. So we'll see what happens. But I do think that I think the Browns got a little something up their sleeve. So we got like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna kind of bring these last four together, and then we'll talk about the Cowboys game last. So we have the Seahawks versus Falcons, Bengals versus Chargers, San Fran versus the Cardinals, and Saints versus Bucks. Out of those four games, I want you all to like maybe just pick one game you think is going to be the best one out of that bunch.
Saints versus Bucks. I'll just keep it simple. I've been preaching them for this game like all week. I think it's going to be a pretty big game. I know it's probably going to be the most watched game at 4:25 today because everyone wants to see Brady in a different uniform. So, but I'm going to say the Saints win.
Okay.
Same game, Saints versus Bucks, but I'm going with Bucks. Going with Tom Brady. Yeah.
I want to say the Bucks and the Saints, but I'm gonna go different. I want to see what DeAndre Hopkins is going to do with the Cardinals against the 49ers. Now, will they win? No, I don't think they're going to win. But I'm just curious to see what Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins connection is going to be like.
Right. Yeah, that should be an interesting game. I'm gonna have to go just to be different again. I'm gonna have to go with the Bengals Chargers. I'm very interested to see what Burrows is.
Yeah, me too.
That would be very cool to see if he comes and goes crazy. Chargers got a good defense too, so that's not gonna be an easy one. So all right, let's all get our hater hats on real quick. The Sunday night game is the Cowgirls versus the Rams. What are your guys' thoughts? This is probably gonna be our final little thing, and then I'm letting you all go because we're watching the first half at least.
Man, unfortunately, I hate going with the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys are going to win, man. I think all the names on paper look really, really good. You got Amari Cooper, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Ezekiel, you got you still got Jason Witten. They got pieces. They got Escobar. They just have a lot of pieces on offense behind that top 5 offensive line. And I'm just looking to see. I'm looking for the Cowboys to win that game. And if they don't win, I feel like that's going to say a lot about their season coming up because the Rams aren't as good as they were 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So if you can't beat the Rams now, then I don't. I kind of think that says a lot about your season going forward.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I'm gonna go. Just roll the eyes, Cowboys. I'm gonna go Rams. Cooper Kupp just got paid. They have that rookie Cam Akers. I mean, they were able to run the ball with Todd Gurley at once upon a time. So maybe with fresh legs, they can do that as well. I'm going to go Rams. They also paid Jalen Ramsey, so these guys have to prove that they're worth this money. I know wide receivers are going to try to test Ramsey, be like, are you really that good to be the top paid corner? So hopefully they try to overdo it. He gets a couple of picks and stuff like that, but I'm going to go Rams just because.
I was going to go with the Rams at first, but Jared Goff was going to mess it up. He's gonna throw like 3 interceptions or something. Watch.
I feel like Jared Goff, he's always hit or miss. Like when he's hitting, like that dude, like he's like,
he's nice.
He actually kind of looks like a number 1 quarterback drafted, but then when he's not, it's just like woof.
Yeah,
he's bad.
Part of me wants to say that the Rams. 99.9% of me wants to say that the Rams are going to win, but like you said, just that guy sucks. Goff is not good, but they have Sean McVay, who is a great, offensive mind. So.
He can't play quarterback.
Exactly. He can't throw the ball to nobody. So we'll see. But I am going to have to go with the Cowboys on that. Probably like 24-20, I think is what I said before. So it is 12:55, y'all.
Got to
that time.
We're going to end the live.
I
We
know.
might come back like at halftime or after the game, depending on if we're crying or not. But I appreciate everybody that stuck around and chilled. So make sure to go check out my homegirl at Excuse My Behavior on YouTube. She's dope.
Check
She's
me
dope,
out.
even though she's a Washington fan.
If we
And
getting
you know it
blown
is.
out, don't expect me to come back. I'm not trying to hear it. If we getting
And
blown
just to
out.
shout out Why Sway, I will not be going live for the first half. I might come back for the second half. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But y'all say goodbye and fly Eagles fly.
Peace.
Let's do this.
Fly, Eagles,
Peace,
fly.
y'all.
Fly, Eagles,
Go
fly.
Washington football team.
All right, y'all. God bless.
Later.